Hello, hello, and welcome to the Tarot Speakeasy for tonight, August 11th. August 11th. Um, I'm sweating to death. It's 107, 106. It's been that way for a week. I hope it's cooler wherever you are. So, tonight we're talking about tarot spells. Tarot spells. So, if you have any questions, like if something that you want to have a spell working around, you can put it in the chat. I've also put a comment there that I'm going to be going through this tarot spells little booklet that I wrote, and you can download that at the link that I put in the chat, and I'll put it in the it's in the description already. It's already in the description as well. So if you'd like to do that. So tarot spells, tarot spells. Okay, so we're going to be doing the tarot spells around making a tarot card candle, which is one of my favorite things to do. I do this all the time, and unfortunately, I don't have the best examples right now, but trust me, I do this a lot. We're going to be using these 7-day candles, and if you happen to have these in the stores where you live, you can pick up these 7-day candles. I'm in Texas. I can buy these in the grocery store. I can buy these in Walmart. I can get multiple colors. So you might see these. We have botanicas here, and we can get them there. Where you live, maybe not as easy, but you can buy them online. It's just they're kind of heavy, and you have to ship them. Um, but if you absolutely cannot find one, you can use a pillar candle. Now, this isn't the best example of a pillar candle because it's like ribbed. I would get a smooth one, but you can use a pillar candle. I mean, it's not a big deal. So we're going to make a candle with a tarot card on it for a particular purpose. And we're going to write a spell. We're going to enchant the candle, and then you can work your spell as long as the candle lasts. They call them 7 days. You should be able to burn them continuously for 7 days. But I never burn these continuously. I just light them and work them and then blow them out. So this is my sun. I did this for Sun and Leo with the sun card. You may recognize the sun card. And so this one burnt out today, so I need to make another one, and it was yellow. It was yellow for the sun. So, and this one I just did, this is tracing paper. I just wanted to see if you could put tracing paper through the printer. Evidently you can, and I painted it, you know. So it doesn't have to be super complicated. It doesn't have to be a big arts and crafts project, but we're gonna walk through it. We're gonna walk through it. So let me give you a couple of examples, and then we'll start with the book, I guess. Okay, let me go. Like I said, I really don't have the best examples. I mean, this is black and white. I put this through my black and white laser printer. This is the Hermit, or maybe let me do card cam. There we go. Better over here with card cam. So this is the Hermit card, and it's in black and white, and I cut it out. You can use tissue paper, to help decorate, and the light comes through and it looks really nice. Like these examples I have, like I said, they're not the best. They're super simple. When you print stuff in color, it looks a zillion times better. I just haven't done it lately. I just haven't. I've got, this is the star. This is a star. This is not a tarot card candle, but this is a mercury candle that I use. So that's the idea of what we're going for here with the tarot card candles. Okay. So let me just explain how you put these together, and then we'll talk about what elements you need to put one together. But basically, you can make a front and a back. So if you have gone and bought like a Saint candle or a Virgin of Guadalupe or whatever candle, usually it will have a picture on one side of the candle and then like some kind of prayer or something on the back. So you can either put the incantation on the candle itself, or you can fold it up and put it under the candle, which we're going to cover um, as I go through here. But I just wanted to show you that this is like super simple, like anybody can do this. Like you take your candle here, this is your 7-day candle. You can use, this is Elmer's glue, and all you do is, and you can use rubber cement or any other kind of glue you want, but I'm just showing you that it doesn't have to be a big project here. You can squeeze your Elmer's glue on here very thinly, and just, you want it like all the way to the edge. That's the thing, because you don't want your edges peeling up. And then what I do is I have like this little foam brush thing, or you can just use a paintbrush too, and you just spread your glue really thin. And that's the key with the Elmer's glue, is you don't want the paper to buckle, so you have to spread it super thin. That's the way that works. And so you spread it super thin, and then you put it on your candle like so, and then you smooth it out, and you smooth out all the bubbles. Like I showed you, that first one I had was tracing paper, so that, you know, that's the kind of stuff that'll really bubble up on you. But if you do it real thin and you spread it out, then that's not a problem, not a problem. So there you go. That is a candle of the Fool. This, I was making one because I'm working on the book, which I keep mentioning. And so I was like, you know, I need help with the book. And so I was like, oh gosh, what cards should I use to write the book? And I decided to pull cards on it. And I came up with the Fool, which I wouldn't have necessarily picked myself, but I think it's good because it's like I need to have like a beginner's mind with this whole thing, with the book. It's starting a new chapter, it's starting a new phase, and it's like I just need to be, like I said, like beginner's mind, be like, I don't know where I'm going, but I'm just going to go explore and see what comes my way, and I will fumble my way to the finish line with this. And then I wrote, we'll get into these later too, but I wrote, my big fat foolish life is free from worry and strife. Many say they do not understand why I travel the land. Nothing to tie me down. Am I lost or am I found? So that's what I would glue on the back of this candle, but I'm not going to do that right now. But I just wanted to show you just the how-to. All right, second screen. Here we go. All right, so here is the Tarot Card Spells book. And like I said, there's a link in the description and in the chat right now. You can download it if you want this book. So, all right, so the table of contents, we're going to go over the materials, the anatomy of a tarot spell, and then the spell recipes. And so I've got like a love and attraction spell. I've got breaking a bad habit. I have like accessing higher wisdom, and also one for healing. So we're going to go through those. So, okay, so what you need is a deck of cards, tarot cards, or printed tarot images. So I have images, tarot images on my website if you want to download and use those. Obviously, you can do Google image search. You can look on Pinterest. If you have cards, you can make copies. And like I said, I suggest color copies, unlike the ones I showed you. That's pretty easy. That's easy enough. Where is my water? Oh, it's over here. Because I was coughing, I need a drink of water here. Okay, and then you need the candles. So like I said, a 7-day candle like this, or you can use a pillar candle. Incense, any kind of incense is fine. You can do stick incense, cone incense, resin incense, whatever. And then offerings, these are offerings that you're going to make when you're working the spell, so they will be appropriate to whatever it is you're working. So like if you're doing a sweetening spell, you want sweet things, right? Like cookies and flowers and you know, sweet drinks and lovely things like that. Alcohol is great. Tobacco is great. These are very traditional offerings. But like I said, you can put cakes and cookies for sweetening spells. It just kind of depends. Like as we go through, I'll give some suggestions on what you might want to make as offerings. And then paper for petitions. Any paper will do: scratch paper, notebook paper, brown paper, sticky notes, origami paper, stationery, you know. And so it's like you can get as fancy with this as you want, or you can just get it as practical as you want with this. Okay. So in this section here, I talk about how, like, at Christmas time, we put cookies and milk out for Santa. You know, like Santa's coming, Santa's bringing us presents. So we offer him something, right? We offer him cookies and milk, and we leave him a little note. We send him a letter and say, this is what we want. So it's just, that's the basic idea of what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Little did you know that Santa was a spell. That's right. Santa and the whole Santa bringing you presents and leaving cookies and milk out for him, that's a spell. So there you go. So is blowing out birthday candles. Okay. If you have any familiarity with voodoo, or not voodoo, hoodoo, sorry, hoodoo, they do petitions and petition papers, and there's a particular way that they write them, and maybe I'll switch to card cam and I'll explain that part. So for hoodoo petition papers, usually what you would do is you would write what it is that you want, or what it is you want to receive. And with these petitions and the spell work, I think personally that if you do it the same way that you would write affirmations, same idea, like state it in the positive. I think it's better to state it in the positive than the negative. But I have, we're going to talk about like breaking a bad habit in another part. But let's say I travel to New Mexico in October, okay? And then you write it several times. I travel to New Mexico in October. You could write it more, but for the sake of time, I'm going to write it less. You turn it a quarter turn and you write it again, and you write across what you just wrote. So you write, I travel to New Mexico in October. I travel to New Mexico in October. I travel to New Mexico in October. And then you can also write around the edges. You can write here, I travel to New Mexico in October. I travel to New Mexico in October. And you write it all the way around, and then you sign it. Okay, that's how a hoodoo petition papers works. And if you want, so if it's something that you want, you fold it towards yourself and then turn it a quarter turn and fold it toward yourself. If it's something that you want to get rid of, then you would do the opposite. You would fold it away from yourself and turn it a quarter turn and fold it away from yourself. And you can keep turning and folding until you have the little paper. And you could put that little paper under your candle when you burn it, just like that. So that is a petition paper. And like I said, this is also a petition paper, but you might stick it on the back of your candle. So you have two options there, whatever you want to do. Now, you also have the option of burning it. I like to do that if it's something you want to release, but it doesn't have to be. You know, you could, like, you know, rip this up and burn this in the candle. This is kind of a big piece of paper to do that, but you have the option of burning it too. Okay. All right. So that is that. So let me go back to second screen. Okay, so that is the petition paper part. Okay. So then next, or really before all of this, you should be thinking, okay, what tarot card is going to help enhance this spell? So you have to think about the nature of the card, of what you want, and what card matches it. Now, like I said, in the case of this writing this book and getting it done, I could have picked the swords card because swords is about writing. I could have picked the magician. I could have picked a lot of things, but I just decided to pull a card, and I got the fool, and so I did the fool. So you have that option. You can just go, hey, cards, let me know which one I should use, or you could think about what each one might indicate. And I did not, this is not in this little book because this is part of a class. And somewhere else in the class, I have suggestions on what cards go with what kind of things. But like I said, put it in the chat. Let me know what it is you want, and we can talk about it, and I'll give you suggestions. Okay, offerings. Once again, it's best to make an offering when you do these spells. So, like I said, very traditionally, you can use alcohol, you can use coffee, you can use soda, some kind of drink, or even just water. You can do sweet things. You can do, what do I have? Hot chocolate, fruit, yeah, fruit, honey, cheese, uh, like Mars kind of things. Tobacco is great. For Venus kind of things, I find chocolate works really well. And so Venus is about attraction, like bringing things to you and having people look upon you with favor. So any kind of sweet things work for Venus, and I would use the Empress card in that case. There are probably some other options. Like I said, if you have questions, we can talk about it. Um, yeah, so it can be even like, I don't know, like a little Lego minifig or something that you want to have as an offering. Um, it could be marbles. It could be anything. It's just like whatever you feel called, like I want to offer this, offer it, offer it. And then just with the stuff that goes bad, you have to clean it out every now and then. Just don't let it rot there on your next to your candle. You got to clean it out every now and then. And then the last part is symbology in theater. This goes hand in hand with the card chosen for the spell in theater. How can we extend and play out in a symbolic way what the petition is asking for and what the card is about? Somebody said, I don't know who this was, I don't remember, but they said the gods don't speak English. So how can we make it abundantly clear? So if there's some action that you can do, whether it's like a little dance, some kind of yoga pose, um, acting out a little play somehow, or something that helps, like I said, bring the theater and the symbology together, and making it abundantly clear that this is what you want. Like, for example, once again, going back to kind of the hoodoo stuff, I did a road opening spell, which I saw on YouTube with Miss Avie. It was like making a shaker with popcorn in it. So it's like if you want to road open or open the way ahead of you, she was like, get a little jar and put popcorn in it, and you shake it, and then you state your intention while you're shaking it. Because I like that because you're shaking things up, and I put the petition in there in the popcorn and shook it, and I would shake it, and I would face the four directions. So I would start in the east and shake it and say it, then go to the south, and then go to the west, and then go to the north and back to the east. So just have a think on that, on what you would, like I said, a yoga pose is fine. Putting your hand on your heart is fine. Whatever works in a theatrical or symbolic way it's just going to add more to the spell. It's going to give it more potency. Okay. So, all right. So now we're to the actual spells themselves. Maybe I will pop in and check on YouTube and see if anybody's here and has said anything. Nope. It looks like, well, I don't know that anybody's here. No one has said anything in the chat. So if you have anything in to say in the chat, let me know. Okay, so going back over here. Okay. So you can use the Empress card for a sweetening spell. So I put my cards aside here so I can just bring them out and show you. So let me show you the Empress. And this is the Marcel's deck, by the way. It doesn't matter what deck you use. So that's another thing. When you pick a card to use for your spell, pick one that resonates with you, that really illustrates what you're trying to evoke here. So this is the Empress card in the Marcel's deck, which, like I said, there are other Empress cards out there. There's some good sassy Empress cards or whatever. So pick a card for that helps illustrate what it is you would like. So to make someone look upon you with favor or treat you kindly, or if you want someone to take notice of you, or if you want to sweeten up an argument with a family member or boss. That's what I put for what you would use this sweetening spell for. I used a sweetening spell when I worked for The Devil Wears Prada. I had a boss who was The Devil Wears Prada. She was horrible. I mean, she was just, I don't even know where to begin with this woman. She was crazy. I mean, she was just, I mean, among the millions of things that I could tell you about her, like one of the things she would do, I worked 7:30 to 4:30, and she would do what I called the 4 o'clock freak out, where she would, be calling me at 4 o'clock and suddenly need a whole big long list of things before I left for the day at 4 o'clock. At 4 o'clock, the 4 o'clock freak out. And, I mean, she was just always just, yang, 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 not just to me, but to everybody else, just always on everybody's case, on my case, it just never ended. It just never ended. So anyway, I did a sweetening spell, and it's very similar to what I'm going to describe here. And it worked. I will tell you it worked. Okay. So what you will need is one of the candles, as I just talked about, incense, something sweet and light, sandalwood, jasmine, something floral. Um, Suggested tarot card is the Empress. You could use the Two of Cups. That's like, if you want more of a love spell, then I would suggest the Two of Cups. Six of Cups is just kind of a general pleasantness, pleasant atmosphere. If you want to you want to create pleasantness around you and everybody's like happy and in harmony. Ten of Cups, same thing. Or if it's more of a family thing, you want harmony in the family. Two of Wands could work too. And then you have you do the paper, and you can just simply write, if it is like a single person kind of thing, like the situation I was describing with my boss, you just write their name. Just write their name. You can write it on there 5 times. And then, like I said, turn it, write it 5 times, turn it, write it 5 times, turn it, write it 5 times, and sign it, like I was talking about. And what you will do is you'll have a small jar, which I didn't bring one, but like this is a jar. Pretend this. You put sugar and water in this jar, and you put your petition paper in there. Okay. And then what you're gonna do is you can just put like a little chime candle on the top and burn it. And then you just say, "Hey, person, you're gonna be sweet on me." you're just gonna love me. Your attitude is gonna be like, I'm the greatest person ever. You know what I mean? And then it's like you can shake this again with the shaking. Again with the shaking. Because it's got sugar in there. You gotta mix it up, and then also the paper with the person's name. And you're like, hey there, boss. You're really sweet on me. You think I'm great. You think I'm the best worker you have. You really are nice to me every day. Yeah, yeah, yeah. However you want to word it. And you can do that several times a day. When I did this, I had it in my desk drawer over here, and I would take it out several times a day, and I'd be shaking that thing, and I'd be saying that, and it worked. It worked. Her attitude toward me improved. It really did. It really did. People have said they've like been on the verge of getting fired, and they did something like that, and they got out of it or whatever. And like I said, if I personally not into the love spells because I'm like, I think you're really asking for it with the love spell. That's my personal opinion on it. You're asking for it. But if you want to do it, yeah, whoever you're trying to get together with, you put their name in there and you shake it and you're like, yeah, you're really sweet on me. You're really attracted to me. It's like a bee to honey. You come see me and blah, 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 blah. Okay. So the best day to do that is on Venus Day. Um, like I said, you could put that, like I said, if it was real small like this, you would put a chime candle on here, which in case if you did that, you would have to like just set your card like this on it. But if you have a bigger container and you're doing it, then you could have your card wrapped around that container, if that makes sense. And then you make little offerings of sweet things of chocolate and stuff to Venus every Friday, and you work that spell as long as you need to until you get what you want. So that is that one. Then next, okay, so next we have breaking a bad habit. Okay, so now we're going to kind of the other extreme here. So you could use the death card, you could use the Knight of Swords, you could use the Judgment card. There's probably other ones you could use because this is where it's like if you want to cut ties, if you want to break a bad habit, if you want to stop doing something. My suggestion is that you want. I guess I'll go back to card game. Let me do card game. So you're going to put your card on here, which would be the death card, which let me see if I can get to that real quick. Or like I said, or the Knight of Swords. If the death card's a little too scary for you, which I don't blame you if it is. You can put your death card on here like this, okay? And then you are going to have a petition paper like this. In this case, this example, I used Knight of Swords. So you write what it is what you want. This is your petition. And in this case, this one says, all good things must come to an end, Knight of Swords. Cut the cords to blank, so I might become a blank. So, like if we're talking about cutting cords with a person, we can say, cut the cords to fill in the person's name, so I might become, an independent person, or I might become, I don't know. I don't know what you're going to fill in there. You know what you're going to fill in there. Or like I said, it can be a bad habit. You can say, Knight of Swords, cut the cords to smoking cigarettes so I might become smoke free. Or, cut the cords to, like I did this with drinking for stress relief. Like I found that I was drinking for stress relief, but it wasn't working. So I was like, at one point I did this. I said, help. I don't remember exactly how I phrased it, but it'd be something like, cut my addiction to drinking for stress relief, so I might become a more calm and centered person or something. I'm just making stuff up. And so then this is where down here you write, I release whatever. I release cigarettes. I release Joe Bob. I release my addiction to YouTube. You know, whatever you put it, you put it here, but it would just be one thing. I was just giving several examples. And then you have, it's cut here like, you know how like when you see an ad for something, someone's selling something, and they do this little thing and they have a phone number here, and then you like pull it off, but you pull off a piece of paper. This is where this would be on the back of the candle here, like this. And then every day you would light the candle, pull off this paper, and then burn it in there. You can burn it in there, okay? So that is another spell. Okay. So back to second screen, okay. And then we have the star, where you connect with higher wisdom. Sorry, I have a star card as an example, a star candle. Here's the star candle. You can't see it that well, but there it is. So it says, this is for connecting with higher wisdom. So you can use the star card, you could use the sun card, or any other card that you feel connected to. Like people usually have some card that they feel very connected to in the deck. And then you can do it on any day. You can do it on a Sunday. Or it's like if there's a certain time of year where there's a constellation that you're really into is out, you can do it that time of year. You know, there's lots of possibilities here. And then, you know, you put the candle out, you light the candle and the incense, and you put out the offerings, and then you write your request to connect with higher self, higher wisdom, God energy, or whatever energy essence being you want to connect with. And then you can either, like I said, stick that paper on the candle or fold it up and put it under the candle. And then I have a little petition that you are free to use if you want to. Star light, star bright, which path for me is right? Place in my way your guidance each day. Our connection grows stronger as we walk together longer. Starlight, star bright, I will watch for you tonight. So there you go. There is that one. And I think, okay, yeah. Then we've got one more. This is the Temperance card. Temperance is often related to healing, or is connected to healing. So what you can do is you can have a candle with the Temperance card on there, and then you can draw a picture of the body part that needs healing. So this is going back to these milagros, if you've ever seen them, the little pewter milagros that you could buy. But you know, you can have a milagro and use it on the candle, or you can just drop like a picture of the body part that's bothering you. If you're having headaches, draw a head. If you're having arthritis in your hands, draw a hand. You know, whatever the case may be, and however you can depict it the best you can, and you stick it on there, and then you can, you know, write a petition saying, hey, Temperance, I'm asking you for healing for my arthritis in my hand, or whatever the case may be. Or like I said, the petition paper, fold it up, put it under the candle, whatever. Or if you choose to burn it every time that you do this, you can do that, and you can work that as long as you want. And so that is that. So that is kind of my little system for doing tarot card candles to work tarot spells. So let me go back and see if anyone is here. There was no one here earlier. I don't. Numbresha is here. Hello, Numbresha. Hello. Do you have any questions, Numbresha, about anything? Did you want a spell to work? Is there anything I can do to answer a question or help you at this point? And I have no idea when she popped in. So there we go. Yeah. So that is that. I don't know what else to say really at this point other than that. That was just an idea I've had. I'm into the tarot card spells. I don't know if other people are. I mean, based on the attendance, probably not so much, but I think they're very potent. I mean, you can really do a lot with them, and a lot can be said for just using them as a focal point. So if there's something that you want to bring to fruition, just from the fact of having a ritual that you're doing on a regular basis, and you're bringing that focal point up, and you're bringing that focal point up, and then it's like I said, if you're using a particular card, and you read tarot or you pull cards every day, well, when that card shows up, it's like that's a message for you, or that's helping to reinforce something. So I think it's worthwhile. I mean, I have one spell that I've been working for almost 6 months. In a couple of weeks, it'll be 6 months, and I can stop doing it. And I have gotten some success with it, So I mean, there's like I said, there's something to be said for that because our lives are so busy and so scattered, and we just like we have the best of intentions around things, but we don't follow through because we have so many things pulling our attention in so many directions. So just by lighting a candle, whether you're doing it every day or once a week or however you're doing it, it's just bringing your focus back. You're like, oh, okay, that's right. I've said I want this. You know what I mean? And whether it's the universe bringing it to you, or it's you bringing it to you, or it's just you focusing on it, I think that's a great benefit. So that's pretty much what I have to say. I think I'm going to wrap it up at this point.